What up, fight fans? Earlier this week, the UFC and ONE Championship made history yet again by trading Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson and Ben Askren. Demetrious Johnson is most likely a familiar name to you as he was the flyweight champion of the UFC for 6 years, and he just recently lost that belt to Henry Cejudo. The name you are probably less familiar with is that of Ben Askren. Who is he? Why does the UFC want him? Is this an equal trade? Up until earlier this week, Askren was signed to ONE FC, an MMA promotion based out of Singapore. It was there that he was the welterweight champion for 4 years. And for those of you who need a little bit of a refresher, the welterweight weight class is that of 170 pounds. In fact, Ben Askren has an impressive resume. He is a NCAA Division I wrestler. He was Bellator welterweight champion, as well as ONE FC welterweight champion, and is undefeated in MMA with a record of 18-0 and 1 no contest. His pedigree alone highlights the fact that Askren deserves the opportunity to make a name for himself in the UFC. As I mentioned, he has been champion in every single promotion that he has fought in. So the UFC signing him gives him the opportunity to really shake things up for the UFC welterweight division. If you're wondering why he was not signed sooner to the UFC, well, he chalks that up to some tension between himself and the UFC president, Dana White, around 2012. Clearly, they have put that tension behind them. As for the UFC welterweight division, both Tyron Woodley and Colby Covington are NCAA Division I wrestlers, potentially making a matchup with Askren much more challenging than he may be expecting, and much more interesting for the fans. Both Tyron Woodley and Colby Covington are the champion and interim champion, respectively. Given who Askren has been calling out, however, I doubt that he'll be given a championship title fight off the bat. As you could imagine, Ben Askren is not one to shy away from the trash talking, and in fact, it has already begun, even though he has only been signed to the UFC for less than a week. He's called out Darren Till, the Diaz brothers, and even Georges St. Pierre. In fact, he's even mentioned in the past that he would love to fight Georges St. Pierre to solidify his legacy. As I mentioned, Askren has not even been signed to the UFC for a week, and he's already hit the ground running. He's been drumming up a lot of buzz, and the trash talking is only playing into his advantage to get him really interesting fights and to help him really make his way up the ranks in the UFC. In fact, his personality fits the UFC to a T with their current business model and the way in which they currently are marketing fights. Overall, I think this was a smart trade, and I think it'll be absolutely interesting to see who he will be fighting first in the UFC. So far, I've been thoroughly entertained by his trash talking. And let me know in the comments down below what you guys think, if this was a good trade, who you think he will be fighting, or who you want to see him fight. I think that Khabib versus Askren would be amazing, so maybe that'll one day be in the works. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I will be seeing you in the next one. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe down below. Bye.